everyone, and welcome to another episode of "'Tis the Dance Season," a DanceVibes podcast, where we'll be sharing a new episode every day to learn more from other dancers, teachers, choreographers. But you can only get a new episode daily if you're in the Instagram group chat, so make sure that you DM the DanceVibes Instagram at dancevibes.official if you want access to that. And today we are joined by Michelle Leagans Tadero, a professional dancer, choreographer, and teacher who's dedicated her career to helping dancers shine. Michelle graduated magna cum laude with distinction from Oklahoma City University with a BFA in dance performance, and while there, she performed with the American Spirit Dance Company and made history as the first student choreographer for the OCU pep dancers. Her performing career includes dancing at Busch Gardens in Virginia with the NBA's Charlotte Hornets and with the NFL's Houston Texans Cheerleaders, where she served as a captain and choreographer. And for more than 20 years, Michelle has been creating choreography for schools all over Texas, over 60 of them, and her routines have earned hundreds of awards for creativity, artistry, and entertainment. She's also the owner of Michelle Leagans LLC and founder of Power Intensives, a high-energy dance program that travels to 15 cities across Texas each year, reaching more than thousands of dancers. And throughout all of Michelle's amazing accomplishments, her mission has stayed the same: to inspire dancers to work hard, have fun, and believe in their potential. So, hello, Michelle. Excited to have you.
Hi. Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so let's just dive right into the interview.
Okay.
So what first drew you to dance, and was there a specific moment when you knew that this would be your career path with dance and entrepreneurship and all the things that you're doing?
I think I'm like most dancers. I started dancing when I was really little. I think I was 2. When I started walking, my feet were turned in. So it was a really big deal for my doctors to find something to help with that without having to put me in braces for my legs. And so we started me in dance and in ballet class, and it kind of just took off from there. And my love began really early. And then when I was in high school, I started choreographing in North Carolina for my high school drill team. I started doing football dances with the band, and that's when my choreography bug kind of took over. And I realized I liked the behind the scenes as much as in front of the camera. So I kind of used both those when I was really young to develop and push toward what I wanted to do. But honestly, entrepreneurship, it just comes with time, like where your path is going, and taking a chance on yourself and the ideas that you have.
Awesome, that's amazing. Yeah, just kind of just following your interests, and I think that's definitely something that a lot of dancers also need to hear, to not force themselves into a certain career path or path with dance. Definitely.
Yes, you never know where life is going to take you. I stopped dancing professionally pretty early in my 20s, mid 20s, because I wanted to get straight into choreography. And then I had a life event happen in my mid 30s, and I actually went back and performed again at age 35. So, I would have never thought that I would have done that or was capable of that. And so I think that, you have to kind of let life guide you. Same thing with styles of dance per se. Most, you might think you're a contemporary dancer, but then you start taking more classes and you realize, oh no, I'm actually good at hip hop, or oh no, I'm actually good at lyrical. So you have to kind of let life and dance kind of guide you on your path.
Yeah, definitely. And also, so you performed for NBA, NFL, being captain of the Texans cheerleaders. So
Mhm.
what did that leadership experience really teach you that you still use today, especially as now with high school dance teams and studio dance teams, there's so many young team captains emerging there?
First, leadership is hard. Very hard. Some of these dancers in high school are put in positions, even as a sophomore, to be guiding seniors on their team. And even for me, on when I was captain of Texans, we all came into this team together. It was the first time the team had been created, and we were all equal, but then we're put in leadership positions, and but yet we're supposed to be equal. And then it was very difficult. You're all the same age, you're all in the same capacity for what you're doing. So I think that one of the big things I learned was that team should always come first. I'm still always learning that, and I think the younger generation has to learn that too, that you sometimes have to put the best things for the team ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I love that advice, especially because also I feel dance, especially more competitive now with scholarships and awards and getting the center spot. in like the group routine. So I think definitely like dancers like need to hear that to just like sort of like put the team first, and like everyone is like at like equals.
Right. When you're I know it's always that cliche statement, there's not an I in team, but it's really, really actually very true. And when I'm choreographing a dance that let's say has 50 people in it, every one of those people has a spot that is integral into making that routine important. It doesn't matter if you're in the back corner or front center. In fact, I always say that the dancers that think they're not important are the most important dancers because they're the ones that the judges are truly looking at. If I have a dance that's in a gym and judges are looking from up high and down, they're not looking at the front, they're looking at the back. So I know a lot of dancers think there's certain things that are status related, but it really isn't that way. Like some of the dancers I know that have made it professionally were the ones that stuck with it, were disciplined, were dedicated, but they were never a first place winner and they were never a front row dancer. So I think we have to take some things in perspective sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of adding on to that, so since you've choreographed for so many different teams, what do you see that really makes a good like team culture, especially with like like maybe like a high school dance team or like a studio dance team? Like what really sort of like brings everybody together into like a good team culture?
Support and friendship. That to me is everything because yes, is there going to be jealousy amongst a team? Yes, are there going to be really, really difficult days? Are you going to wish you were in a different spot than you are? Of course. Like, we can't take any of that away. But as a whole, when you have each other's back and you're willing and bonding and creating friendships along the way inside of a team, a lot of that other stuff tends to trickle away. So I think it's important that we balance practice, competitions and all of that with the fun social side so that the team really goes out there and understands that they're dancing for the person next to them and not for themselves.
Yeah, I love that, especially because also like teams can get like so big too with like upwards of like 50 or so dancers. So it's important that like everybody really like does know each other and there's no like small like cliques or like little like social groups within that.
Right. And even if there are, I mean, I know it's just things we can't avoid. I get it. I totally get it. And even when I go and talk to teams sometimes, they'll say these things. And I'm like, yes, but it's still the whole picture that matters more than the inside picture. And a judge, even if I sit in the audience and I'm not a judge, I'm just an audience member, I guarantee you I can watch a dance and know if that team is gelled, if they're feeling it together, if they're telling the story together. All of those things matter. It's not just the steps. Like your culture comes out through your performance.
Exactly. I love that. And kind of switching gears to talking more about like intensives and like sort of like convention culture a little bit. So power
Mhm.
intensives, obviously, you see like thousands of dancers like a year with all of your events, and that's amazing. So like with power intensives, like what do you think teen dancers need most from those kinds of training programs or like conventions and intensives that you like bring through power intensives?
Power intensives, I try my best to kind of gear it different than a convention. Yes, we're bringing in guest teachers, things like that, but I really want it to be about meeting new people. I want it to be about joining forces because you love to dance, because you're passionate about it, not because you're the best dancer in the room. Um, I think that conventions also do that. They're just in a bigger entity and there's so many people, and I feel like everyone's fighting for space all the time and always trying to be that person that gets the scholarship or gets the assistant position, all those things. I really designed power intensives because I was in a toxic place and I was feeling a lot of negativity where I was teaching, and I wanted to make sure that I was providing a positive space for dancers in any way, shape, or form I can. So I feel like that's what I'm trying to bring is the positivity and friendship along with creating the best dancers we can create, but putting different things as a priority instead of it just being that social media pull of what you got at that convention.
Yeah, I love that, especially with again like a lot of like comparison. I think now too with like conventions and all the things, so it's important to have like a place like that, like power intensives, where it's just like a bunch of dancers like having fun and who love to dance, like to be there.
Yeah, I mean, social media did this to all of us, didn't it? Like, I mean, it's completely made everyone a little bit crazy in what they're trying to get the likes from and what we're trying to present. And I always feel dancers feel like if they leave a convention and they didn't get a scholarship or they don't have a certificate in their hand, that they were terrible and didn't do a good job. And every dancer gets something different from every intensive or convention that they go to. So I think as long as dancers go in with the right mentality, all of us can provide something really special for them.
Yeah, I love that. And also adding on to like what you've built through like, like your personal brand, like on Instagram, power intensives, all the things. Can you tell us more about your Instagram series and journaling guide, Hey Dancers, Let's Talk About It?
Yes, it's my favorite thing to talk about. So I had a really bad practice one day, and I came home and I told my husband I didn't want to do it anymore, and he just kind of giggled and was like, "Okay, whatever." I was like, "No, it was really that bad." I was crying when I left this practice, and I don't ever do that. And so I was like, I need to vocalize myself. So I wrote this first post, and it was what I wish drill team dancers knew. And it went crazy, and everyone's writing me, and they're like, we love hearing about this. So then I just kept starting writing it, and it turned into, Hey dancers, let's talk about it. And then I was like, I need to do something more than just Instagram. Like, I love that people are reading this, but I turned the series into a book, but it's a journaling guide. So when the dancers go and they see a chapter, after that chapter, which was a topic on Instagram, they answer questions and it opens up the conversation. I feel like dancers, parents, educators, we all need to be talking a little bit more. And sometimes if you write something first, it's a little bit easier to talk about. I feel, especially after COVID, we are so wrapped up in our phones and devices that having an open, honest conversation is not the easiest thing. So I am really proud of it. I love it. I love talking to dancers about it. I love talking to teams about it. And I'm still absolutely loving writing. I have written some posts recently. One is already at 400,000 views, just talking about the kind of like differences in trainings. I do parent ones. So it's really fun to hear from people everywhere their opinions. I mean, not everyone agrees with me all the time, but that's good, right? That's the whole point of having like an open conversation.
Yeah, I love that. And do you sort of have kind of like a routine or like schedule with when you post that? Like what days of the week you post, like who it's sort of like geared towards, whether it's like dance parents or dancers, or is it just kind of like whatever like you feel like you have to say, you're just gonna like post that?
Honestly, I have zero schedule of any kind. I probably should, but I don't. Sometimes it is experiences I have during the week. Sometimes it's conversations I have with other people in the dance industry. Sometimes it might be a dance mom. Sometimes it might be a dancer, one of my assistants. Somebody will say something like, or I also have a lot of people write me with suggestions, things that are going on in their studios or different things that I have maybe never thought about. So I try to take it in the moment when I hear these things and I write. I typically like to post in the mornings just because I'll get up in the morning and I love to start my day that way. I love that I'm putting something out there. I typically post Monday through Thursday most of the time. I think it just depends, honestly, on my mood and what's going on in the dance world that I feel is an important conversation.
Awesome. I love that. And also like kind of like again transitioning to more so like little like tips for dancers. If like you see a dancer who maybe is unsure whether they want to go like professional or not, like what questions do you think they should be asking themselves, or what do you think they should consider if they like want to go professional with dance?
First, I mean, it's not an easy road. And I also think that every dancer should always, put education first along the way as well. That's the first thing I like to say because we never know. I mean, even, I personally have had 7 or 8 surgeries in my life and am happy to still be dancing, but there was no way I could have kept performing at one point. So you have to think about different things and different avenues along the way. I also think our industry is so interesting now because there's so many avenues of professional dancing. So like, are you wanting NFL, NBA, pro style? Are you wanting dance on a cruise ship or at a theme park at Disney? Are you wanting to go industry? Are you wanting to be a backup dancer? Wanting to go to Vegas and do different shows in Vegas? I think you just really need to make sure you're personally aware of who you are, what you want, and what style looks best on you and where you fit. So then you can surround yourself by the best educators to help you meet your goals.
Awesome. Yeah. I feel like that's definitely good advice, especially because also like within dance, there's also like, like what you're doing with power intensive, sort of like doing your own thing. And then there's also like, being an agent, and then there's also dancewear or like being a photographer. So there's also like so many like other little jobs with dance that like maybe if you're like not like physically able to anymore, or if you just don't want to like do dance, you can still like be involved in that community and in that space.
Yes, I mean the arts community is huge. And the more people we have that are truly passionate about it and want to be involved in it, the better the community will stay and the more it will grow. There's so much out there for dance. And like I said, you don't have to be some first place amazing soloist doing 10 leg hold turns to do something with dance and become wonderful and make a great living. You know, it just takes passion and heart and drive and the ability to also fail along the way and find your way out of it.
Yeah, awesome. I actually like love that. Like just being able to like persevere and just like, like take whatever like life or like dance throws at you.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, I'm 50 years old. I've been in Texas now for 25 years and involved in this dance community for that long. And I still have struggle days. I still have to push. I still have days I leave choreography and think I could have done a better job. I'll leave and think, oh, I didn't get through to those kids like I wanted to. Or I'll leave sometimes and I feel disrespected. And that hurts me too, that I've worked so hard in an industry and I don't feel like the kids are receptive back. It's something new and different every single day. I also have gone through a lot with my body and it can be really frustrating and sad. And I want to be a certain way and I can't always be that way. So, I'm not ever wanting dance to not be in my life, but there are days that are a struggle. And I think if you want this career and this life, it's beyond worth it. But you have to also have a very strong mental health system and a good support system along the way so that you can help get to your goals.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely something that a lot of dancers need to hear. And also, this is a bit more of like a specific question from one of our
Okay.
listeners. Do you have any advice for dancers who maybe are insecure in their style, or are just like starting out and are still kind of trying to figure out, like how to really like dance to like their full potential?
Well, number one, like you said earlier, stop comparing yourself to people around you that have way more training than you, right? If you're only a few years in, you can't look at someone in your same class who's 5 years in and think you're supposed to be them. You have to train in your own way, at your own speed, and at your own pace. I actually just did a post the other day that dance is not a marathon, it's not a sprint. It's like you can't speed up your progress. You have to go at your own pace, right? If it takes a marathon, if it takes you 26 miles to make that happen and it takes somebody else 2 miles, well then so be it. You're still going to get to the end goal. You're still going to make it happen. But you also have to be very careful as you're growing up in this world, the type of instructors, educators, and people that you surround yourself with. You need to know your kind of personality. If you're good with hard love and you're fine with a teacher like that, great. If you need someone that's a little bit more sunshine, that's giving you those corrections in a different way, find them. Make sure that you are learning in a way that helps you learn the quickest and with the most positive attitude. Because if not, you're going to get burnout and sad along the way and you're going to end up stopping, which is not what any of us want.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of dancers who need to hear that. So I think that's very good advice. So we talked about a lot in this interview, like power intensives, like dancer mental health, like team culture, all of the above. So what is at least one thing that you want a dancer listening to this to remember or take into maybe like their day?
That you are amazing no matter what trophy you get, or if you don't get a trophy at all. I don't think I don't have any trophies or anything from when I was dancing. Nothing. I don't. I know it sounds crazy that I should be keeping this stuff, but I don't. I don't remember what I placed when I was 14 years old on February 15th. Like it all goes away. It just goes away. And it might seem really big in the moment, but your training, your health, your conditioning, how you take care of your body, and the friends and loved ones that you have around you, that's what's going to make dance memorable for you in the long run, not the trophy. The trophy doesn't matter. Quit putting all of your emphasis on that and train. Take an extra class. Try ballroom if you've never done it. Try hip hop if you've never done it. Take a tap class. For goodness sake, please take tap class. Whatever you need, but don't think your internal and full well-being and worth is based on some piece of metal or something around your neck that one competition gave you on one day with 3 specific judges that would have been different if one judge was different. It's so subjective. Believe in yourself and push toward your goals, and that should be it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a really important point because also, like, first of all, like, the trophies are literally just plastic. Like, they just, like, etch some things on it. And also, especially with judging, too, there's so much, like, controversy around it. You know, like, maybe, like, a
I
judge was,
agree.
like, tired one day or, like, a ballet judge was judging, like, a hip-hop piece. Like, there's so much around it. So I think when, like, it's been into such a big deal of like, oh, like the overall score, like for this day, like the number one solo top 10, like it's really just like a matter of like circumstance. It's not really like reflective of who you are, but like how you take class, like how you're like continuing to train, like that is like what like really does matter.
I agree. And let me tell you from a judge's perspective, I don't judge anymore. And I tell you why I don't judge anymore. For me, I would feel that up to a certain point I was giving my ultimate best, and then I would get so exhausted that I felt like if that I felt like people were getting stuck or lost in the cracks with me. I remember having a judging experience where I think I started judging at 7 in the morning. I don't think I finished judging until maybe 11 at night, and then I started judging at 7 the next morning. I don't remember going to the bathroom hardly at all. I think I barely ate because I was afraid to eat because I was going to have to go to the bathroom. Like, there are so many things that you guys are not realizing that we as human beings are sitting there judging for hours and hours on end. We are not going to be perfect. We are not going to make every decision that you like. We may talk like a crazy person on one video and we may not talk as much on another. It isn't that we're not trying not to do our jobs, but I'm just saying that the judges' jobs these days are very difficult, and talent is everywhere, everywhere. All these dancers are so good. They're so good. It's crazy. And then we're having to sit there and make a decision on what a child's going to think about themselves. It's a lot. There's so many things, you guys. Like, please understand the judges are killing it for you. They're doing the best they can, but they're also human and they have an opinion and they have things they like more than other things or experience more in other things, and that could guide their decision too. So it just feels all that should matter is, did you come off that stage happy? Were you in love with what you did, and do you want to do it again? And if you can say yes to all those questions, then get back on that stage and kill it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think especially also as like January is coming up, a lot of dancers I think will definitely take this like in a good way. So
I hope so. It really is important that we understand that those 3 people aren't making or breaking anything about who you are as a dancer or what you want from dance. You know, maybe you just want to stop when high school's over. Maybe you want to go into something else. What happens in your studio and in your classes is the core of who you are as a dancer.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so as we're ending off this episode, where can people find more about you? You know, like Instagram, Power Intensives, Hey Dancers, let's talk about it, like all the things.
So my book is available on Amazon. So you can find Hey Dancers, Let's Talk About It on Amazon. And it comes in hardback and paperback. Actually be a really cool Christmas present. It'd be great in a stocking. So go grab one. My Instagram is my name, at Michelle Leagans, and then at Power Intensives is, I have both those Instagrams. And then my website is powerintensives.com. So you can see all of that. And then we also are big with LA Dance Design, the clothing company. So we do a lot with them. We sell their clothes in our online store, and we also sell their clothes in person. So we love being a supporter of other entrepreneurs. The company is a mom and daughter that own it, and we just really enjoy making sure that as a female owner, just like you, right, that we all have each other's backs and are supporting along the way. So those are the main ways you can find everything.
Awesome. Yeah, and actually DanceVibes is part of a giveaway that's happening at the Power Intensive event on December 20th, and this episode is going out before then. So it's just very like
Yes.
whole like full circle thing. Yeah.
Yes, so we're doing a big fashion show with LA Dance Design on December 20th, and Jason Pickett, who also has been with your company, is coming to teach classes and judge the fashion show. And the 2 of our special award winners at the fashion show will be receiving a gift from DanceVibes. So we're so excited to make all these connections, to share this podcast with some of the dancers here in Houston as well. Again, it's just a really big thing. I feel like if we all have each other's back, we're going to keep making this dance community as good as we can.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you again so much for your time, Michelle.